freedom, freedom, freedom over fame, freedom over cycle stays the same.
When I liberate myself, I liberate others. American activist Fannie Lou Hamer. Welcome to the Illusion of Liberty podcast. I'm the host, Bianca Butterpecan. Hey guys, welcome to episode 1 of the Illusion of Liberty podcast. Today I'm going to be talking about always being watched, basically. So I'm going to title this podcast episode, Somebody is Always Watching. And this doesn't mean anything creepy, but basically, this is a humanity podcast, or you could say a public service podcast. So I'm always going to be talking about things that are currently going on in society and the evolution of why these things are the way they are now. We're going to be talking about historical people, because I'm a history buff. I love history. I love reading. I love community activists, as well as civil rights activists and things of that nature. But basically, these days we have been under a lot of surveillance. And maybe you don't know, but my conscious people, they are aware. If you are a socially aware person, you probably already figured out, everywhere you go, you're on camera, right? We got cameras for traffic lights. We got cameras in the stores. We got cameras everywhere. I mean, just about everywhere except for your home, right? That's the only place where you can kind of hide out a little bit, but they can always find you. And these are people of authority, people in high places, government. They can always find you no matter where you are. So that's why I label this somebody's always watching. Now you have those people who understand this is where we are in society, because some people's argument, oh well, we have a high crime rate, crime is up now, so we have to be heavily monitored. And they're like, we're okay with it, we're not doing anything wrong. Even if you're not doing anything wrong, it feels like the illusion of liberty. Okay, like, are you really free? Because free means, right, you get to compartmentalize what you want private in your life. But these days, we don't have the luxury of privacy, because our information and everything about us is accessible to anyone at any time, as long as they have the funds and research skills. I mean, we're literally living in a world where it's not hard to find somebody. Back in the day, you used to could fall off the map and nobody would even know. Why would you want to fall off the map? I don't know. Just because you don't want everybody having access to you and your information, probably, because that information gets in the wrong hands, and you have a lot of fraud, you have a lot of scamming, you have just people, just random people that can look you up. Um, it's a good thing to be heavily monitored, I guess, in some way, but then it's a not so good thing if you are a free thinker and you are independent and you don't want to always be under surveillance, right? I mean, it's just creepy in a way, but that's the society that we are in today, folks. And you probably already noticed it, and I noticed it, and you know, um, but let's talk about what the definition of liberty it means. Okay, so I looked up the definition of liberty on Google, and I don't know if you guys want to, but I right, freedom. Some of you that went to public school and private school, you know that the Declaration of Independence says, every man is due for life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness, right? But if you've been living in this world like I've been living in this world, you know that not everybody feels like they're getting liberty and the pursuit of happiness. And some people might say, oh, that's his own fault. That's her own fault. Um, I don't really want to blame anybody, but I do want to say that if you're a conscious person like myself, you know that it's really not up to the individual, which is why I named this podcast The Illusion of Liberty. Because I feel, and you may feel this way as well, that we do not have liberty under this system of things and in this age, right? In this era. And what liberty means, according to Google, is the state of being. Let's wait until it pops up. Okay, let's see. State of being free within society from oppressive restrictions imposed by authority on one's way of life, behavior, or political views. So do you feel like you free at work to say whatever or that you feel passionate about? And I don't think so. I think definitely in corporate America, um you are not you're confined from speaking about certain things. First of all, I think there are even written policies in corporate America about you can't speak on religion or politics. And even people even advise employees not to speak on religion or politics. So you can't take a stance on either one, or you'll get an enemy or some kind of chaos within the workplace, or you'll create a toxic, quote unquote, toxic work environment. Even with your friends, like just this past election, people have said they broke up with friends and people they knew for years because of who they voted for. It creates a divide because you don't have the freedoms to express what you want to express because one, like the definition said, because people in authority, people say we're in a democracy. America is a democracy, and it is labeled a democracy, but doesn't it feel like it's becoming a what is it called? Totalitarian. Oh my God, I can't pronounce it. You got to look it up, but it feels like it's becoming a totalitarian. Oh God, never mind. Never mind that thought. It feels like it's becoming more of a different type of government where we don't have no control and only government has control. It seems that way. But anyway, I think it's called totalitarian or something like that. I could have got that wrong still, but you get my drift. Anyway, um, it feels that way to me. Um, even when you do the simplest tasks like going to get your driver's license, if you're a common folk person, you go and get your driver's license just like I used to be. I just go in there, do my little vision test, you know, um, you know, um, and take my picture and get my driver's license. But as a conscious person, um, aware of social construct and authority and everything like that, and how much power I have given these people over the years of my life, unconsciously, I now go in a driver's license place and look at things totally different. Like I'm so aware that I'm like, oh my God, I have literally given these people authority over telling me if I can drive or not. What made me agree to get a license to drive? What made us do that? Like, back in the day, driver's license didn't even, it wasn't even a thing. Marriage licenses weren't even a thing, you know what I mean? But people were told to do it, and the masses did it. Like, if we would have refuted it, if we would have refuted that, we could have probably got away with it. You know what I mean? Like, because they were able to convince so many people to get a license, pay for their right to drive, and everybody followed that rule. The government sets the law, and everybody just goes with it. Like, sometimes you have to go against the law. because now the law is having control over if you can drive or not. Yes, it's good to get, I guess it's good to have control over, to make sure people aren't driving if they don't know how to drive, right? Or if they shouldn't be driving, right? But I don't think that should be government's business, honestly. I personally don't, but maybe you do, you know. I just feel like the government is involved in every aspect of our personal lives, and I don't really like it. I don't know. So that's why I say that that's what led me to name this podcast The Illusion of Liberty, because I personally been feeling this way for a while. And you can't talk about this kind of stuff to common folk or people that's in the matrix is what we call it. They're in the system. They're just going along to be getting along, right? They haven't really felt any kind of way about it, but once you become all the way awakened, you're like, wow, these people, this people in high places, this system that's over the little people, they have a lot of access in our lives and a lot of control in our lives. And I think we're to the point where we're depending on the government for food, health. I mean, they test our food according to the Food and Drug Administration. We're depending on the government to import our food, right? We're depending on the government to provide us jobs by funding corporations. We're depending on the government to teach our children in their government funded schools. You do have the option to homeschool, but again, with governmental requirements and standards like vaccinations and things like that. So it's like, what liberty are you talking about in this Declaration of Independence? Like, what liberty? Where's the freedom? Because I thought freedom mean I don't have any restrictions. I get to do what I want to do. And if I don't want to get a license and I don't want to do that, I should have that right to say I don't want to get a license. As long as I'm not hitting every curve on the street and I know how to drive and I know the rules of the road, I should be good. Why do you have authority to tell me when I'm not going to be able to drive in your society? Because as you get older, they're going to ex- intense the requirements, right? When you're younger, you get to renew your license every 7 years or every 4 years. When you're older, they intensify the requirements. So now you have to worry about going under their requirements. And why do you have that authority to do that? Like, ain't nobody finna drive if they can't see, first of all. I mean, I don't think they would. I hope not. But if you feel like you have to regulate just driving, it's interesting. But I'm going to go ahead and wrap this thing up. This was the first episode, but get ready for more in-depth episodes about the Social Security card and the Social Security Administration and getting a birth certificate and what that really means. Like, we're really going to dig deep on this whole liberty, life, liberty, and pursuit of happiness phrase that's in the Declaration of Independence, because this is the Illusion of Liberty podcast. And no, it's not the doom and gloom podcast. It's just to let you have a platform to know that you're not alone and that somebody else is also seeing this the same way you see it. And if you aren't seeing it this way, let me enlighten you. All right, guys, I'm going to go ahead and sign off and see you guys next episode. Bye bye for now.
Freedom, freedom over fame. Freedom over